Hello everyone, Festival Goats here and welcome back to the channel. Now yes, the next video is still in the works. Sorry it's taken so long, but work in this heat in the UK has been exhausting. However, how could I not take a chance to show you guys my new Buring Abyss deck profile? And oh my god, it feels so good to be saying that after all these months. So yes, the new support of the latest set, we have not only a new main deck monster that can help us build our boards, but a new fusion spell and a new boss monster for the deck. I guess when you lost Beatrice, Dante has turned to the devil himself for help. Now, is this deck a top tier deck? No, not really. But can it at least be competitive at local and maybe a little bit higher than local levels? I think so. Also, just keep in mind, this is my first version of this new build, and I am playing all the good Fiend stuff, so you're going to see Fiendsmith and you're going to see Unchained. Yes, I know, a lot of people aren't fond of killing, as someone said, Fiend slop. But this is probably the best way to play it at the moment. I will show a more pure trap-based build at some point. Also keep in mind that this is my first draft of the deck, so I'll be going with my ideas with these cards and letting you know what I'm thinking about changing in the future. So I think kick things off with the new cards, 3 copies of Biao, the Dawn's Light, and 1 Mutiny in the Sky. So this card is our fusion spell. You can shuffle back 3 fiends or fairies in your grave to make a fusion monster, which means not only can get you the new boss monster, it can also get you Purple Dante or even Fiendsmith Desiree. In addition to this, it can also bring it back to your hand by flourishing a card, so it can also be any Buring Abyss effect. And to get this card, we have Biao the Dawn's Light. This card can negate a monster on the field to summon herself, so if they ash your tour guide, you can use this to get the tour guide, get it on the field, and then its other effect, which grants the monsters in your left and rightmost columns the ability to destroy the card effects. You can then play your BAs from your hand without the Xeno lock killing them to give you further extension. This card is not exactly Buring Abyss near, but it gives the deck a lot more plays and it's played for a lot more than it used to be able to. However, keep in mind it has to negate the effect of summon itself, so the tour guide getting veilered or impermed can still end your turn. But it gives the deck more plays against Ash Blossom and Dominus Purge now. So that's the new cards for now. I'll show you the extra deck one in a bit. So we are playing, of course, 3 tour guides, and yes, I'll be getting the 3rd silver one at some point. This card's still the best card in the deck. If she's not goes uninterrupted, you summon her, you get yourself a Graph, or in this case, maybe even a Biao, and then you make Cherubini from that. That will give you 1 graveyard effect and Cherubini mill, allowing you to do basically full combo. And now with these new cards, you can also use this to go into full Fiendsmith combo, or even full Unchained combo. This is also still a great card to get at the end of turn with Scam. However, it's not the guaranteed card you get anymore, because now with the new boss monster, sometimes getting a Buring Abyss like Graph or Seer can actually be better, and I'll explain why when we get to that card. Now this is the card I'm the most iffy on playing, which is Speed Droid, Terratop and Tekaton Borg. Terratop can summon itself and then summon this from the deck. So this can give you 2 level 3 points on the board for Dante or for Cherubini. However, unlike Tour Guide, if this gets stopped, you're pretty much done unless you happen to draw both these cards, or a Tour Guide, or it'll feel like an Ash. Basically, if this card gets stopped and you're nothing but Buring Abyss cards, the Buring Abyss lock will kill you. So I'm considering playing either this or playing 4 of the BA names, because I've cut down the BA names quite a bit in this deck, because you only need to max out on the 2 most important ones. So we'll see how that goes in the future. For the BAs, for our 3 ofs, Seer and Graph, you don't need to play more than you don't need to put the maximum of everything other than these 2. For those who don't know what these do, all the Buring Abyss monsters can send themselves to the field without using other effects. And this one's individual effects summons a Buring Abyss from the deck, this one summons a Buring Abyss from the graveyard. What makes it cool, by the way, is the effects are negated if you special summon them, so you can special summon them and then summon Bao by negating their effects you couldn't use anyway, which is pretty cool. Also, you can use Bao and negate one that has got an effect live, because if it goes up in the grave, so that it's like Tour Guide, that negate doesn't even matter. Now, in this kit, these cards, you want to get these off of Tour Guide or open up one of the 2 of them, and another BA to go to Cherubini. For example, let's see open Graph. You go Graph, BA name, Cherubini, Graph summon Seer, Graph summon Scam, Cherubini dump Seer, bring back Graph, and then you can do Fiendsmith plays, Unchained plays, or even just make a Dante. And also, these cards have gotten even better now with the new boss monster, because the new boss monster can pop a card when the card is destroyed. So one thing you can do with this is you can search one of these 2 And then if you send to the graveyard during your opponent's turn, they'll summon a Buring Abyss either from your grave or your deck, which will then be popped immediately by the Buring Abyss Xenolock, and that will then trigger the boss monster to pop a card in the opponent's field. Outside of those, we'll play a bunch of 1-odds, 1 Libic, 1 Alec, 1 Father, and 1 Scam. Now, I'm considering playing a Barbar as well for time. I'm probably going to side deck it because there is a Dynamorphia player at my locals. But again, these cards, all they are is extended. Just put them on the field to get your Sea bodies going onto Link Climb. Of these 4, I think Libic is the best one because you can play him. If you've got a non-BA on the board, he'll die and you can summon a BA that's flex negated. So it can be more extension that way, while also giving you the effect of another BA. Scam obviously is something you want to get as part of your combo to get a Tour Guide or a Graph for Seer to your hand. Alec is an effect veiler. So if we make Dante, I want this under him, because if Dante dies, I can shut off another effect. And of course, Fafa, he banishes the card at the end of the turn. Now this is probably the weakest one currently, but it is really good if you're playing against Ryziel, because you can banish one of their 2 XC monsters, it'll lose all its material and won't get them back. It can also be used to out the Subdragon's Infinity's material if you're playing against Crystron. Like I said, I'm going back and forth and playing this amount of BAs or cutting the Terratop engine and playing a few more copies of, so like playing 2 Scam, a Barbar, an Alec, and something else. And that's the BA part of the deck. And now, let's get this out of the way. Lacrima, Engraver, Lurry, Tract, Paradise. You guys mostly know what these do. They make the Fiendsmith fusions and the levels to the rank 6s. Honestly, this card is really good going second. Even if you draw it, or just search it, because you can make Desiree blow up the board. I really wish this was a light monster to do this with, but hey, best can't be choosers. Honestly, these are still the best cards in the deck. Their ability to bring themselves back is insane. The fact they're so bad to interact with means you're almost guaranteed to get something up. And if you want to try to interact with these cards, if you open up one of the ways to play Buring Abyss under the Xenolock, you can then just go and do your plays that way and get the Unchained plays or even a Dante to a Zeus going second. Speaking of which, yeah, we're still playing the Shavara and Escape. I've seen some builds play Escape, some builds play the Chamber. It depends if you want more recursion or more removal. I prefer this because, again, it works so well with this. As you can pop an Unchained, pop a Pawn's Monster, get the Unchained effect and get another pop of this. But if you want more recursion, you could just play the Chamber instead. Then we got one Foolish Burial, because any effect, this has basically every Buring Abyss effect. You just dump one, get the effect. You can probably play Rhino Warrior as well. I didn't have room for him in this deck, but you can absolutely play him as well. He'll do basically the same thing. Then the hand traps. Ash, Droll, and Phobos. Now, I could also play Imperm here, but I want to save one spot for my favourite non-engine card in Buring Abyss, which is Forbidden Droplet. Not only can this card negate a bunch of effects, making it easy to wipe the board going second, but it can trigger like 2 or 3 Buring Abyss cards, all the new monsters effects, by just pitching them. Also, this card is really good if you open up multiples of the same hand trap, and you can only play one of it, because it gives you something that you can just pitch to shut off an effect. It can also help you pitch things like in Paradise, if you want to get its graveyard effect off, or this if you draw it and don't want to go through your Unchained line as much. That's the main deck right now. So yeah, this deck I think will do pretty well. I'm generally considering how good the Terratop engine is versus how much it can brick you. So in the future I may just play more Buring Abyss cards. I'm also debating whether I want to play both Unchained and Fiendsmith, because that can get kind of bricky if you open like say one BA, one Unchained, etc. Because the BA card that gets stuck in your hand can't really do much with it, because there's no link ones you can make with it. We'll see how it goes tomorrow. So for the extra deck, by the way, I don't have a side deck yet, I'm still working on that. So we've got the new card, Loose the Dusk's Dark. Yep, Dante pretty much turned to Lucifer himself when he lost his wife. So what does this card do? Well, again, it protects your 2 furthermost columns from both from destruction. And then it can both pop a card when a card is popped, or during the opponent's turn, you can send one fairy or fiend to the graveyard to pop a card as well. So this card can just clear boards very easily going second. Like I said, going first, you can set up a scenario where you can get Graf or Seer out on your opponent's turn. They'll die to the Xenolock, and then you'll get a pop that way. Speaking of which, we're playing the BA cards, Cherubini and Dante. I think only one Dante is needed right now. He's pretty much just there for this. But there's some scenarios where we want to play Dante, keep him on the board with a BA under him to get the effective from the opponent's turn, by popping him to trigger this. Cherubini obviously our best combo starter. Any two monsters, you make this. You dump either a BA to get like Graf or Seer to get another monster on the board, and then you can go into Fiendsmith combo, or you can dump the new monster, get the fusion spell, make this going second. Speaking of those engines, we have one Shiva, one Yama, one Soul of Rage, and one SP Knight. So this is what. So once you go through your Fiendsmith line, if you get an extra body on the board, you link off Link 2 and the Fiend to make this. You then use this effect, get Shivara, do your line with Shivara, get to this, then your opponent's turn, you link this off with one of their monsters, make this, link something else up, get rid of something else. That's 2 cards off the field with this engine. Also, this helps you with your recursion, and it can bring a Fiend back. And finally, for the links, of course, the bow. Oftentimes, you can make this, and then get this and the blue dog on the board. You can use the blue dog and a monster to make this, and then you can use the card's effect, dump a card, possibly like a scam or something in your hand, get back the blue dog, and if this comes back, then you've got a pop from this and a link with the blue dog. And of course we have all of the Fiendsmith cards. I've chosen to play the full package here because Caesar can also be a Zeus if necessary. I wish I had the room, so why not have a more diverse extra deck. And for the last card in the extra deck, I'm torn what to play at the moment. Currently my choices are Fortune Tune to make a better Zeus, or this card to help me deal with Nibiru. But also I've seen builds play Nightmare Unicorn for extra removal. I've seen some builds even play a line to get into Access Code Talker, which is not bad. And like I said, with the Terratops, I'm considering just cutting the Terratop engine and playing this instead. Now, the problem with this, of course, is you've got less 1-card starters, and your deck is less vulnerable to hand traps, but it also can brick if you draw too many of the same names. So we'll see what goes tomorrow at locals. As far as side decking goes, I'm probably going to play a lot of I'm probably going to play things like Evenly Matched, Lightning Vortex, and I'm looking into what else I can play in this. So yeah, do I think this deck will be top tier or anything? No, but I'm definitely looking forward to giving it a try tomorrow at locals. I'll put a report on my Blue Sky and possibly on my Twitter, on my community page tomorrow. And like I said, the next video, which will be the Yu-Gi-Oh! Ban list history on the Go For My ban list, should be out by Thursday. Also, a quick update on that actually. After that video comes out, I'll be taking a couple of weeks break from the Yu-Gi-Oh! Channel to work on my first video for my second channel, Narrative Surgery, where I will be looking at TV shows and films, storylines that failed, and trying to redo them in a better way, a la Adam Blompier's Wrestling How I Move book series. So I'll see you all there, and I'll see you guys on this channel on Thursday, hopefully. Talk soon.